So, this is my garage gym. I've worked out in a garage since 1981. So yeah, most of the time I've worked out in garages or home gyms. So the first thing I want to cover, what we have on the floor is stall mats. I got most of them from Cal Ranch. They're about 3/4 of an inch thick, just over half an inch thick, somewhere in there. These protect your floors, your cement floors, your concrete floors, but most of all, they protect your dumbbells, and they protect your weight plates, and they also protect your bars. Also, they do cut down on the noise, and in winter time you will notice a slight difference for insulation. So these stall mats, they're absolutely excellent. They're the best thing I've personally found to put on the floor of where you work out. So moving on from the flooring, what we have here, this red thing, as my cameraman calls it, this is a Wenning Strength belt squat. With this you can do squats and variations of squats, but you can do them safely. You can also do calf raises. Works real simple. You take one of these belts, we've got a yellow belt and a black belt, and you hook in the belt, you put your weights on, and then you can do squats, you can do calf raises and variations of squats. This is the safest way to squat on your own, and also if you've got somebody that's not very good at squatting, they can get the technique perfect by squatting on here before they go to a barbell. If you've got somebody with a glass back, this is ideal. If you've got somebody that's had knee problems, again, this is a very, very good way to squat. I'd give this 10 out of 10. About $2,900. I'm going to do a review on this, but with shipping, you're going to be about $3,500. Moving on. So we're moving over here now. What I've got is, rather than conventional dumbbells, I've got these Sorinex Centermass bells. They're made out of ductile iron. Total 10 out of 10. I really enjoy dealing with Sorinex. These you can use like dumbbells, but you can also use them like kettlebells. And I've dropped them, I've even thrown them from time to time. Never done them any harm. And they're a lot more efficient than a conventional dumbbell because you get a better angle of joint stacking, you get a better angle of pull, and you get a better link between your mind and the muscles. So I'm a big fan of these. What we have now, what we have here is, this is a Rogue Monster Bench. I'm going to give you 6 reasons for buying one of these. Number 1, I really like it. Number 2, it looks cool. Number 3, this is without doubt the safest way to do bench presses on your own. So it's safe, it's stable, it's also incredibly comfortable, especially with this Thompson fat pad. So you've got the stability, you've got the safety, you've got the comfort, you've got it looks cool, and on top of that, I like it. That's 5 reasons. Let me give you another reason for buying one. It looks cool. So you got that reason twice. Moving on over here, what we've got is the Rogue Matador. I'd give this 10 out of 10. I'd give the Monster Bench 9 out of 10. In my opinion, my favourite upper body exercise for strengthening and building muscle in the upper body is actually the dips, the parallel dips. I normally don't keep this on here when I'm using it. I've just got it on here now to keep it out of the way. So you can do dips on this. You can actually put that on the rack, and you could use it as a pull-up bar. And my 7-year-old likes to swing on it, but it's very comfortable to use, it's very secure, and it's very stable, and it's the second best dip attachment I've ever used. Again, we come back over here, we've got my dumbbells. I've become a really big fan of these Centermass bells. I prefer them to dumbbells. Now we're going to move over here, and what we're going to talk about next is this rack on the wall. This is made by Titan Fitness. If you've got a home gym, if you've got a garage gym, you've got to have something by Titan Fitness. You have to have it. It's a rule. It's a law. In fact, you can't have one without Titan Fitness. Now, up here, what we've got is the best buffalo bar there is. I've had this 17 years. Well, almost 18 years now. I used it twice a week for over 17 years. This is a buffalo bar. It's trademarked by Iron Mind. It's a cambered squat bar. It weighs 52 to 53 pounds. This is the best way to squat. What we've got over here is a Sorinex 2-inch bar. Then I've got an attachment for my lat pull down machine. And then I've got my favourite straight bar. This is the S-Cubed bar from Iron Mind. I don't think there's a better bar. It's over 90 inches long. It weighs about 52 pounds. It's thick. and it's rated at £1,500, and it's my favourite straight bar. What we have here by Elite FTS is a cambered bar, and you use that over there on the leg extension, leg curl. Now over here we have just a cheap, I wouldn't even call it an Olympic bar. My friend bought it off my brother for 20 bucks. I've got my Rogue deep dish plates. I've got about 2,000 pounds in weight plates, so about a ton. I really like the Rogue deep dish plates. I would give them 10 out of 10. What we have here on the floor, this is a Kabuki Strength Trap Bar HD. This is the best trap bar I've ever used, but I'm guessing, and I'm just guessing, the Eleiko from Sweden might be slightly better, but I don't have one, I've never used it. But this is the best trap bar I've ever used. Weighs 66 pounds, that's 30 kilos. It's got two handles on each side, so you can have a higher setting and a lower setting. This is the best trap bar I've ever used for traps, for shoulder shrugs, and I really like deadlifting on it. And for all you haters out there, here's the news. Hoist this fact in. I like to deadlift on a straight bar. I prefer deadlifting on a straight bar, but trap bar deadlifts are safer because you're less likely to have an injury, and they're also a lot more effective because you get a better angle of pull. It's a more natural angle, and it's a better place for your hands to be next to your hips, and you get a better weight loading. So I actually think that trap bar deadlifts are more efficient and safer than conventional bar deadlifts. I actually still prefer a straight bar. This is my 2-year-old, Kai. What do we have on here? Well, we have a safety squat bar by Elite FTS. This is the SS Yoke bar. This is the best safety squat bar I've ever used. I really like using it if you're going to do safety squats. What we have here is the Cadillac bar by Kabuki Strength. It's another Kabuki Strength bar. You can use this for bench presses, tricep extensions, hammer curls. I've even used it for bent over row, but I prefer a normal bar. What we've got here is a the Kabuki Strength Transformer bar. So this is a Transformer bar by Kabuki Strength. And what I'm going to do in a few weeks, I'm going to do a review where I'm going to compare the Transformer bar to the Elite FTS bar, and I'll tell you which I prefer and why. This weighs about 25 kilos, it's about 55 pounds approximately, and this is approximately 65 pounds, so it's about a pound lighter than that. Behind here I've got a trap bar that I've had for about 18 years, and then I've got a curl bar that I don't use very often, in fact I rarely use it at all, and that's one that my brother gave me. So what else do we have? Again, fat bar by Sorinex. Got my Iron Mind SQ bar, Iron Mind Buffalo bar, best straight bar, best cambered bar there is. What we've got here now is we have got the Rogue RM6. This is a 100-inch rack. It's got 6 posts. It's the monster rack. I've got the safety straps. I've got 2 sets of J-hooks. I've got 4 pull-up bars because I really like pull-ups. I think pull-ups is an outstanding exercise, especially for the upper arms and forearms, upper back, shoulders. I think it's a great way to train. Then I've got the weight pins on here for putting the weights. I've got lots of bands because I like using bands. I've got these ones from Iron Infidel, and I've also got these ones from Elite FTS. I am sure they're probably made in the same factory, but for some reason I don't understand this. I'm sure they're made in the same place, I'm sure the same specs, but I actually prefer the Iron Infidel, and I'm not sure why, but I do, and some people who work out with me all prefer Iron Infidel. This is an excellent rack. I would give this 8 out of 10. I'm going to do a review if you want me to. I did have a problem with it. When it came, it didn't have all the nuts and bolts it needed, so I had spent $55, $56 to buy nuts and bolts just so I could put it together. And then Rogue, to be fair, took a while to send me some replacement nuts and bolts. On the rack I've got a rear cross member at the top, rear cross member at the bottom, and then I've got these 4 pull-up bars holding it together. Now what I've got here on the side of the rack is, this is a, come this way Mr. Carson. Mr. Carson is the world's best cameraman. and Kai's helping him. What we've got here is a Torque Fitness endless rope. This is a really outstanding piece of equipment for conditioning. So if you've lifted your weights or you've done your calisthenics and you just want to finish off with some conditioning, this is a Torque endless rope, and it's a really good way to do some conditioning at the end of a workout, and you can use it to warm up. I prefer using it, like I said, after I finish working out. It's got 4 settings, works on magnetic resistance, and you're about $1,000. The rack with all the bits I put on it, I was about $3,500 for the rack. Now on the floor here, what we have is an outstanding, really good, really simple bench. It's like a bridge. It's made by Ironmind. I'm a huge fan of Ironmind. I really like their stuff. I really like Ironmind's customer service. This thing, if you can bench £1,000 and you weigh 400, this will support it. It's safe, it's stable, it's a lot more comfortable than it looks. I would totally give this about an 8 out of 10. And the reason I'd give it about 8 out of 10 is because the pad does sometimes move. Stops it being a 10 out of 10. But sometimes it's nice to take the pad off and use it for steps, just stepping on and off it. You can also just sit things on it. It makes a good place to sit between sets. So yeah, I really like this. This, before I work out, I do a warm-up set of hyperextensions. I'll do between 30 and 40 hyperextensions as a warm-up, just to warm up my lower back and to warm up my hamstrings, because the lower back has a very thin blood supply and it's easily damaged. I paid $50 for this, and I've had this since 2012. This is Kai. Kai's 2 and he likes to hang out in here. Again, on the floor I've got a Rogue Ohio Power Bar. I'd give that 9 out of 10. More Rogue deep dish plates, absolutely excellent. Moving on, I bought this off my brother. My brother got it for free. Some guys in an elevator gave it to him. He sold it to me, he had it for years, and he sold it to me for $400. I don't know what it is, but this is 2 things. It is, number 1, this is the smoothest lat pull down machine I've ever used. It is incredibly smooth, really easy to use, but I think to do with the shape of it, it's very, very stable. Goes up to, I don't know if it's 250 or 260 pounds, and I can use the full weight stack on like close grip pull downs and wide grip pull downs and neutral pull downs. You can do tricep push downs on it, face pulls, rows, pull downs, excellent. Moving on, this is my second favourite piece of conditioning equipment. Paid about $1,400 for it, I think it was, might have been $1,300. This is a Torque Tank M4. It's got resistance on the front wheels, the back wheels, works on magnetic resistance. It's got 4 settings, like the Torque Fitness endless rope has. I've got a chain and a handle so I can push it, and then when I get tired of pushing I can turn around and pull it, and I keep my Bulgarian weightlifting bag. It's a 50-pound Bulgarian weightlifting bag. It might be 55, but it's 50 or 55 pounds. I really, really enjoy using the Bulgarian weightlifting bag, and sometimes I just keep that in the house and use it. And when I'm not using it, I keep it in the Torque Tank M4. It just gives it a bit of extra ballast, a bit of extra weight. Moving on. What we've got here now is a smart bag, and I really like the smart bag. And this is my favourite piece of conditioning equipment. You can work this for a few minutes and you can get really, really out of breath. And I'll put some leather gloves on and I'll use it in a review and tell you why it's so great. And also this hinges. Many years ago I was an amateur boxer. I never lost a fight as an amateur. I was a light heavy back when I was a teenager. Normal punch bags, they swing from the bottom, this swings from the top, and this is more natural and less likely to hurt yourself on it. You don't have to wear hand wraps, don't have to wear gloves, and you can just bang away, and you don't need anybody to hold it. Now if you do a power punch, and that wasn't very hard, but it goes straight over, but if you don't want it to do that, you simply put it against a door or a wall, and then you can punch it against there and it doesn't move as much. Excellent piece of equipment. I've had it for years, paid $600 for it. And the thing with the endless rope and the Torque Tank M4, and the Smart Bag, they're things I enjoy using. And that's the only reason to have a piece of equipment. Do you enjoy it? What we've got here is, this is a Elite FTS. You can do leg extensions on this, seated leg extensions, and then you can lie down prone and you can do leg curls for your hamstrings. This is a good way to warm up your knees. As you get older, I mean, I'm in my 50s now, as you get older you're going to want to warm up your knees, warm up your hamstrings before you work out. This is really smooth, it's very, very stable, it's incredibly secure. It's got my logo on it, Ex-Human Race, red and grey, excellent. It's a good way to, like I said, good way to work your hamstrings, good way to work your knees. But to be honest, my favourite exercise, the exercise I do twice a week, is I love to squat. I just like doing high repetition squats. But still, this is a good way to work your legs, but squats is still the king of all exercise. Now, on a more lighter moment, you might be wondering what these are. You're thinking they're some sort of weird exercise tool. No, they're not actually a weird exercise tool. What these are is they call them Umbogo clubs, and the Umbogo was a very, very fierce tribe that used these as clubs in Central Africa somewhere. And the reason I have two of them, well, this neighbourhood, we've got lawyers, and we've got engineers, and a bit of a nuisance, bit of a pest. So I keep one of these around to keep out things like attorneys and engineers who tend to be a bit analytical and a bit boring. However, with something a lot worse than an engineer or an attorney, with far worse than that, what we've got in the neighbourhood are two realtors. I don't like realtors. I think they are the most aggravating profession there is. And there's a couple of them live down the road, and I keep this in there just in case any of them come and ask to buy my house or sell my house or put my house up for sale. So these are to deter things like realtors, especially the two-handed one, Umbogo clubs. They're for just a bit of light amusement, actually. Thank you for having a look around.